from the Netherlands. Hans is an independent international technology researcher, so we're all in very safe hands. So Hans, I'll hand it over to you.
Thank you very much, Matthew. So good morning from my side, and good afternoon, or good day, as you say in Australia. Indeed, I have a bit of a background in research for global companies such as Capgemini, Deloitte, Ernst & Young, and Gartner. And I'm happy to introduce in a moment Chris Burling, who's the head of strategy, customer digital technology, and Pedro Carrillo, who is the managing director of Phoenix DX. They will introduce themselves. So as an introduction to today's event, we have the following agenda. In a moment, I'll be trying to set the stage for the meeting. Then we'll dive into the benefits of working with low-code solution, and particularly the OutSystems low-code solution in an SAP environment. We'll share with you some stories, some lessons learned and successes. And we will also share with you a demo really showing hands-on how the OutSystems solution and platform performs in an SAP environment. And as Matthew said in the introduction, please interrupt, ask questions, use the chat functionality to ask questions. So as an introduction to the topic, I don't know if some of you have seen this, but my former colleagues in Gartner recently produced this research, where we'll share with you the link to this research, which basically says that in their estimate, the majority of technology products and services will be built by professionals outside of the IT department by 2024. In another earlier piece of research, Gartner claimed that by 2025, about 65% of application development will actually be on a low-code or no-code type of platform. So that is one of the inputs that is very important to take into account in the context of our meeting today. You know, if only half of what it says here is true, then they claim 80%, as you can see. Then that is a major change to a lot of companies, particularly those companies that have built over time a tremendous legacy of different customized SAP environments. So that's one reason why this is an important topic. The other reason, obviously, is more or less depicted with this story, meant to be a joke. But nevertheless, in the Australian context, I had 2 tours during my career in Australia, so I know a bit about your culture, but also about your climate. To a lot of companies, the SAP estate that they have is big. It needs to be protected. It needs to be maintained, or in your particular case, it needs to be cooled because it's perishable in a sense. And it runs the company. It runs the firm. So you can't just shut it off, and you don't want to shut it off. On the other hand, we all have this experience that we want to speed up, and particularly the business wants to speed up. So this is the dilemma, right? You need to take care of this very important business continuity environment. And on the other hand, you want to be faster. And in some cases, some companies have concluded that we cannot wait for S/4HANA to be finished and to be ready. So we need that Lotus in front of my big ERP environment. I need it now, because in the end, I want to turn my ERP environment into a lean and clean environment. And on top of that, I want to have a Lotus type of capability in order to speed up. And that is actually what we're trying to share with you today. So using this metaphor as a starting point, I would like to hand over now to Pedro to say a few words about the current situation in Australia when it comes to ERP modernization, specifically SAP ERP modernization in relationship to OutSystems. Pedro, over to you.
Thank you so much, Hans. Pleasure seeing everyone here. And just as means of a background, I'm from Europe, Portugal originally, and I've actually been doing OutSystems and SAP for the past 15 years. I was fortunate to build the first SAP connector for OutSystems back in the days, and was exposed to a lot of European companies that were implementing already 15 years ago OutSystems and SAP as a companion So very happy to bring a few of those learnings. When you look into some retailers and organizations like overseas, like Jeronimo Martins, they have about 4,000 stores, 4 times more than Woolies has here in Australia, and about half of their revenue overall. And they've been producing about 20 new applications a year and connecting POSs with smart stores and driving a layer of innovation on top of SAP, whilst still keeping what's core in SAP. You see organizations like Certis here in Australia and in APAC that have exposed the whole SAP data model through OData and through APIs, and again leverage the right tool for the job by perhaps customizing the security guard's experience and the customer's experience in a layer that is built to change. And so today we're going to talk to you a lot about some of those examples. We're going to hear from Chris Berling on GPT and how these technologies have been partnering very strategically and hand in hand. But you might be wondering what is OutSystems if you haven't heard of it before. And so OutSystems is an enterprise platform for custom software development. It's a full stack environment where you can build your data model, business processes, complex business rules and user interfaces, pixel perfect user interfaces, I might say. It's fully integrated with SAP, and they've been companions, as I said, for the last 15 years, perhaps one of the oldest companions on OutSystems on the low-code segment. And the ability to extend and connect and orchestrate SAP and non-SAP systems is part of the DNA of the platform. If you want to embed applications inside of the system landscape of SAP, for example, you can do that. And it's a visual environment that allows people to build a number of applications. I'll talk about that in a moment. And it's not just build them, it's maintain them, evolve them. So OutSystems offers a continuous integration, continuous development, and monitoring capability that allows organizations to deliver applications at scale and speed. So the outcomes that you can build with this typically focus on experience layer. We're going to hear a bit from Chris around how they focus on that last mile of the user experience and connect the dots between different systems in seamless interfaces and native mobile apps that might require offline. With OutSystems, people build full core engines also. So there's been a number of insurance companies building their portals, building their enterprise and channels supported by OutSystems, doing campaigns management and so forth. And there's a lot of operational systems, incident management, field services type of scenarios that are built and leveraged with this platform. Again, great companion with SAP, and I'm just very keen on introducing you Chris Berling, who's going to talk about some particular use cases. Over to you, Chris.